Hey guys! Alrighty, so it's been a while since I've made a video, and that's mainly just because I have not had as much time to read as I thought that I would have, which, considering I'm taking full-time credit hours at college, that should have been a hint to me that I wouldn't have time. But I kind of blame it on Netflix more because I got a free month of Netflix and so I've been watching shows. Yeah, it's a problem. Haven't had as much time to read as I thought I would, but also the book that I chose to read next is just, it was kind of heavy and I was very into it, but it was a lot to process, and I'll get more into that when I get to the writing style of the book, but it was just a lot to process, and so I took a lot of breaks from reading it to watch shows. So yeah, I also want to apologize for the lighting in my room. I literally just finished reading the book like 15 minutes ago and it's nighttime and my room is dark and I don't have better lighting, which technically I should since I'm a film student and I should invest in that, but I don't because I don't have money. Book. Also, dog. And new bed sheets. Yay! Look at her. Look. Don't ignore me. You're on camera. Grr. Okay, she hates me. Anyway, The Meaning of Night, A Confession by Michael Cox. Yay! This book made me This book made me really angry. I kind of am really mad at it right now. It was really good, but I am definitely mad at this book. It is pissing me off really bad. So first of all, let me talk about the cover. Ow! I thought I was putting my elbow on the table. There was no table. So the cover of this is pretty badass in my opinion. Basically, it sort of, like, once you start reading the book, this is exactly what you see in the book, like through what Michael Cox describes of like England and stuff like that. This is exactly what it looks like. So I did like that. And I just love the picture, like with the top hat and stuff like that. I love it. Love it. So this book is set in the 1800s, more early 1800s. So I think goes from like 1819 to 1855, I think, around that time. And it's set in Victorian England. Beautiful, beautiful. Actually, really crappy, but it's still, I really like that time. Especially the Jack the Ripper stuff. I really like to read about that, which is kind of twisted, and I don't know why, but I do. So, yeah, that's where it's set. And it's a confession from this guy called Edward Gliver about why he's going after Phoebus Daunt, who was a childhood friend of his, and they had a falling out at school, I believe it was, and he makes it sort of his life's goal to bring Phoebus Daunt down. So the first chapter is Edward Gliver confessing that he is a murderer. He walks us through how he kills this random guy and how he is how he is emotionless in the sense of killing this guy. He does it very efficiently. He doesn't get caught. He just kills him, and he mentions that it's practice for this guy Phoebus Daunt, who he's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. Gotta kill him. We know that there's this thing between Phoebus Daunt and Edward Gliver. We also know that Edward Gliver goes by two names, Edward Gliver and Edward Glapthorne, and he is kind of this really mysterious dark horse. Like, we don't know much about him. He takes us through all these years. There are several parts to the book that I won't get into, but he takes us through like Phoebus Daunt's life and how he came to meet Edward, and then he takes us through like some more stuff, and then can't really tell you. Anyway, so we get to this whole point, and it's this whole confession, and it's awesome. The main characters in this book are Edward. I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. The main characters in this book are Edward Gliver / Edward Glapthorne / some other names that he uses randomly, but the most important ones are Glapthorne and Gliver. Le Gris, I'm not sure if it's Le Gris or Le Gris, I'm iffy on that one, who is a friend from school as well. Isabella Galini, who is kind of a hooker, I think. She's more like an upper class hooker. She's like a companion, but she still does the whole sex stuff. I don't know. Christopher Treadgold, who works with Edward, Mr. Paul Carteret, or Carteret, I don't know, and his daughter Emily Carteret, whatever. Simona Glyver, who is Edward's mother, and Tom, don't remember if they mention his last name and I couldn't be bothered to look it up, but he's just, he is Edward's teacher when Edward was young. Fordyce Jukes, who's just the landlord of where Edward lives and is really irritating. Phoebusdont, of course, and his parents, and Lord Tansor and Laura Rose Tansor, who is dead but is mentioned a lot in the book. Lots of characters. All of these characters, like the really main one is Edward Glyver. The rest of the characters kind of come in and out and they're sort of in the background of the book a lot. But they're all very, very important. I would say that the most important ones are, of course, Phoebusdont, who, though we never see things from his perspective, we get a lot of information of and we see throughout the entire book. Le Gris à Dunatne. He is also very important because Edward is actually confessing most of this stuff to him. And let's see, Emily Carteret, whatever you want to call her. She's kind of important too. And Lord Tansor is important. She's having a dream. Oh no, excuse me. Maybe, that's okay. That's okay. That's She's so weird. So basically this entire book is a confession of the whole Phoebusdont thing and that issue, but it's also of a sort of a childhood that Edward could have had and should have had, but it was denied him, and Phoebusdont has something to do with that. All of these people, it gets so complicated. So there's a lot of sneaking around and murder and, well, not necessarily, yeah, there is a lot of murder. Sneaking around, murder, deceit, betrayal, love, all that good stuff. A lot of it in this book, and it's all done in a very drawn out way. I mean, this book takes place over a long time. I think it's like 30-something years, and so it's a very long time for someone to hold a grudge against someone else, which Edward obviously holds a grudge against Phoebusdont. And he dedicates his entire life to finding information and proof so that he can take him down. And it's just, it takes dedication. I do not have the dedication to do that. I cannot hold a grudge against someone that long. No, that's not true. There is one person. But in general, like, it's so difficult to really dedicate yourself that much. Anyway, so it's kind of admirable. There's a lot of literature mentioned in this book. Edward Glyver is a very well-educated man. He is very well-read. He appreciates good literature. He appreciates first editions, big collections of very, very valuable books, and just that whole essence of books being so awesome is definitely in this book, and that's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed it, is because just all that bookiness is like, ooh, I love it. There is, I don't know if I don't really like this factor of the book. There's an editor, so we get little tidbits here and there. Let me just find a page that has it, where you get extra information. So, like at the bottom of these 2 pages, there'll be a word in the text that has an asterisk next to it or something, and then down at the bottom you get kind of descriptions of what that is. Sometimes I appreciate that because they'll use like a slang term for, I don't know, bar. That's a terrible example, but they'll use a slang word for somewhere that you go or something that you do that they used during that time, and that there's no way that I would know what that means. And so the editor puts the description, like a little definition of what that is underneath. That's when I appreciate it, but there are some times when I'm just irritated by it and it's like, ugh, I don't I don't want to have to stop reading, look at the bottom to get the information I need to continue reading. And so that I kind of appreciated it on one side, and then on the other side it was just irritating because it does distract me from reading, and I don't like that. I don't want to have something make me stop so that I can get, I mean, like right here, there's a lot of information there, and it's just like, okay, stop reading, remember where I was, go down, see what that is. And then, I mean, for example, in this one it says, in the text it says Professor S, and so you don't know who that is. And the editor below says, like, I have not been able to identify Professor S and am unable to say why the author chose to respect his anonymity. He seems to have been involved in some rival enterprise to the expeditions to Nimrud of Austin Henry Layard that did not materialize. Okay, great. Not sure if I care. It's part of the book, I mean, it's part of the fiction. Evie, it's okay. As far as I'm aware, this is just an additional, like, enhancement of the fact that it's a confession, and so we're supposed to, like, be taken even more into that aspect. There's a word, I can't figure it out. Anyway, the writing style is beautiful. It is so, I think the word is evocative, I'm not sure, but it is so Victorian England, and it's so well educated and fluid and easy to read and just British, and by British I just mean that the slang terms used in there are so British and Victorian, and you just would not hear them used in America or in Spain or anything like that. They're so very, very, what's the word? Connected? No, that's not the word. Help me. They belong to England. That's not the word I'm looking for, but they just belong to England. So it was, yeah, it was just all very beautiful, very literary and awesome. It was sometimes a little bit textbook-like in the sense that it just read a little bit too dry and it was too informative. So sometimes it wasn't as pleasant to read because sometimes you knew that you were reading it just to gather some more information, and the way that it was written was a little bit reminiscent of textbooks. So that aspect wasn't so great, but that didn't happen often enough for it to be a problem to me. My battery's gonna die really quickly, so basically I really liked this book. I'm going to give it a 4.5, 5 out of 6 because of some of the writing aspects and just the fact that it made me really pissed off. But I do recommend it to you guys. I love Victorian England. I love that whole thing, and this whole book was just amazing. I'm sorry that I have to cut this short. If I need to say anything else, I'll post it. Shush you. I'll post it in my blog post, which is iamthepageboy.blogspot.com. Follow me on Twitter and stuff. All that kind of good stuff is all linked down below, so if you guys want to follow me there, then do so. And yeah, also thank you very, very much to the people who have been continually subscribing. I've gotten over 100 subscribers, which is a huge, huge deal to me. This is awesome, so thank you very, very much for subscribing and supporting me. Oh, yeah, before I go, I'm gonna quickly give this a try and see how that goes. So that will be the next video, and then I'm gonna post an annotation down here to give you a hint towards my secret book of the month, which will be the last video of this month, if I can finish it this month. So we shall see. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!